Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, good. How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. It's always good. I don't see you guys. Can you guys turn
Yeah,
on?
and we don't see
camera,
us
please?
too. I don't know what's going on.
You can see me?
We can see you in a little screen, but there's no us. You know how usually on the top there's people who are participating. There's
Because
no one.
all your video are off. So if you turn on your videos, then I'll be able to see. Oh, yes. Now I see Junior.
My video is off.
Turn it on.
On?
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Now, Alicia, I can see Alicia.
I'm here, but I'm not going to turn my video on. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's not about video. It's about our picture. Yeah, like there's a black screen with One Way Realty name and nothing else.
And
I
the
don't see
screen's
who's
for everybody. You
participating.
can see everybody now.
No, I don't. I can't see anybody.
Oh, I can see Junior. Junior, can you see me? Yes. Okay, good.
Okay.
Alicia, can you see me? Alexa, bedroom
Yes.
2 on. Let me make some light here so you guys can. I'm not gonna be in the dark. All right. So how you doing today? Good.
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. So we are going to start like a announcement on our chat that we will do like an introduction training for new agents. But you know, it's always good to everybody. That's why I said it's if you guys wanted to join, please feel free to do so. And we're gonna talk about you know, some different things, promoting yourself, you know, how is the market today, where to do those things. And one of the things that I want to start with is the question that a lot of people is asking, which is how do we see the market in this year, 2022? You know, some people are concerned about, are we gonna have some bubble again and price is gonna go down? What is happening in the market? Now, one thing that we need to understand that we're not gonna see a bubble because people are always concerning that 2008 is gonna happen again. But we have a different reason why the price were going up so fast and so much. In 2008, the reason was because the lenders were lending money for people that were not really qualified for. They had this program that is called stated deal, which you just stated your income. You don't have to prove an income. You just tell them how much money you make. And if you know you need to make $10,000 to qualify for the loan, then you say, I make $10,000 when you actually make $4,000. So, and the banks will give you money, give you money, give you money. Now, these people that actually were making $4,000 and not $10,000, they couldn't afford the payments. And that's what happened. Right now, the reason why the price was going up so fast is because the interest rate was low. And that encouraged people to buy. In the same time of the year, last year, like let's say January, you could approve for a loan for 2.9%, 3%. Now the interest rate is already going up. So that's one reason for us to think that the price will normalize or it's going to go down again. So when you see that you can be approved for a loan for 3% and then you make the calculation on your monthly payment, it's going to be lower than what you pay for rent. So a lot of people that were renting, they saw the opportunity to own their own property. So that's the reason why a lot of people were buying. I was having a conversation with, and I'm going to give his name and number because this is going to be our contact for loan originator. Okay, his name is Rafael Aguilera, and he works for Loan Depot. If you guys have done business with the Loan Depot in the past, you had basically two people that you were in contact. One was Leo Rodriguez, and he retired. He's not there anymore. And the other one was a lady that she was not responding as fast as we wish. And then we had many complaints from borrowers, buyers, and from the agents. Then we stopped working with her. And what we were seeing in the market is that before we had about every 15 real estate transaction, one was cash. So right now, every 3 transactions, one is cash. So the loan is not that important on the increase of the price and decrease of supplies, because there's a lot of people paying cash. So right now, the best case scenario, he told me yesterday, 100 credit score, and 800 is considered to be an excellent score. And the interest rate was 4.15, meaning that from last year to now, the interest rate increased about 1.125%, 1/8 of a percentage went up. And then you might think, well, will discourage buyers. Actually, no, because this is what is going on. Let me show you here. We have this graphic that shows the existing homes available for sale compared to the US population. And if you see the graphic, this graphic here shows, the blue one shows the inventory. So right now the inventory is very low, but the population, which is the green line, it's increasing. When the population increases that much and we don't have much of inventory, we're still going to see this crazy market for another year, which is good for all of us. What makes it a little bit complicated, and you guys need to start thinking about it, when you work with a buyer that are qualified for FHA loans. So if they are qualified for FHA loans with 3.5% down payment, their level of competition, it's very low. So sellers are receiving 8-10 offers. Some of them will be cash offers. Some of them would be with DU approval. And some of them will be with 20% down payment, 40% down payment. And then you come with an offer with 3.5%. The level of competition is low. And then you might think, well, what if this person that is putting 3.5% give the highest price, highest than everybody else? That becomes more interest to the seller. Yeah, but it's still contingent on appraisal. If the person only have 3.5% to put a down payment, he doesn't have extra money to pay the difference between the appraisal value and the purchase price. I had a situation in the past where I presented an offer, and I called the listing agent, and he told me, Arlindo, your offer is the best one we have, highest price, highest price. All right, a week went by, and he didn't call me, so I called him. And he said, Arlindo, unfortunately, the seller decided to go with the other offer. And I said, why was that if my offer was higher? And he said, because the other offer was a DU approval. And it makes it a stronger offer, even though it was lower, but it gives a secure to the seller that this deal will close. And mine was a pre-approval letter. So let's talk a little bit about pre-approval letter. You know, things that you need to put it on your offer to make the offer stronger so you can still be competitive in these markets. Now that we are, you know, over with the situation that is the market going to come down or we're not going to see this much of sales? No, it will continue happen. You know, the problem is that, and it's not now, it doesn't start now, it already started in the past, is that buyers with an FHA 3.5%, they don't have a competitive chances with this market. So start thinking about when you're working with a seller, a buyer with that scenario, and see how can you make his offer stronger. So it's always best to have a pre-approval letter. And if your pre-approval letter is a DU, it's even better. Guys, unmute yourself and answer me the question. Do you know what DU is? Who doesn't know what DU approval means?
I was going to make that question. What that means,
All right, good.
please.
All right, so we know that when a lender makes a loan, he's not going to serve this loan for 30 years. He's going to sell the loan to FHA, okay? Because imagine, and this is simple to understand, if everybody goes to Chase and someone got $1 million, someone got 500, one day Chase is gonna run out of money, right? So that what they do is that they get all those loans and they sell on the secondary mortgage market. And they are Fannie Mae, Ginnie Mae, and Freddie Mac. But the highest one is the Fannie Mae. So Chase has an application with Fannie Mae, which is called DU, which means desktop underwriter. So he collects all the information from the borrower, meaning credit score, he pull up the credit report, he gets the income verification, the deposit verification, he get all the information that he needs to approve a borrower. Now he sees the documents. So now he's going to input those information on the DU application, okay? So he's going to upload all those information that it's not based on an interview with the buyer. It's based on the real documents. And when he finished to submit all the information related to the borrower, he will click on submit. And if he gets an approval, meaning that that loan is already approved by FHA, by Fannie Mae. So meaning he will be able to get the loan and sell to FHA without any problems. So those DU approval has a better chance, like 90% chances to be approved because the borrower is already approved. Now, what can go wrong? Well, what can go wrong between the moment that he made the application and the closing? He might decide to buy a new car, and that will change his liability, and that will change his credit score. And that's one thing that we need to do when we work with the buyers that are financing, to tell them, don't buy anything financed. Don't buy a candy using your credit card. Don't apply for any credit until we close the deal. Once you close the deal, then you can do anything you want. So that's one thing that could happen. Now, but 90% is a different options that can go wrong. If the borrower is already approved, there's another thing that the lender needs to approve, which is the property. Now, they need to do what? They need to do the appraisal to qualify the property. The borrower is already qualified, but now we need to qualify the property. So we have a better chance to get this deal closed. Okay? So it's always better when you're, yes.
So with DU means still being a pre-approval letter, right? It's still being a pre-approval.
It is a pre-approval letter, but approved by DU.
Okay.
Which is better than a pre-approval, a letter from the loan originator.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
One thing that we never work with is a pre-qualification letter. This is not a guarantee that the borrower will be qualified for, because a pre-qualification letter is based on an interview, and we know in our industry buyers are liars. Well, how is your credit score? Oh, it's good. It's 680, and when you pull the credit, it's 590. Right? So pre-qualification is based on an interview, and a pre-approval is based on the documentation, right? But he didn't submit to any lenders. If it's not a DU, he didn't submit to any lenders yet. He's just looking into the information from the borrower, and based on his experience in the loan program that he's going to submit it to, he believes that this guy is going to be approved. And then he gives him a pre-approval letter. But then the package needs to be submitted to the lender. And the department is called desktop, it's called underwriting. The underwriting department will look into all documentation and see if the board is actually approved or not. They might not qualify. So that's why it makes the DU a pre-approval letter, because it's already being approved by the lender. Okay, so the board is already approved. So you get this letter from the loan originator. It will make the offer stronger. It will be financially qualified, and then they verify employment, funds for down payments, and type of approval. The best one will be DU, and helps seller consider buyer's offer. Okay. Now, if it's an FHA, but it's an FHA DU, it's also make it strong. Okay. Now let's start looking about building our career. So have you ever thought about how can I launch my career? Or the things that I need to do. I used to say this in my real estate class, and also here in training to the agents, that we have to do something in order to launch our career. Taking the license, it doesn't guarantee you success. Taking the license just make you licensed to practice real estate, but doesn't give you the success, doesn't guarantee you the success. And I've seen new agents that they believe that just by getting a license, they're going to start making money. And getting a real estate license is the same thing as opening a business. You need to put money to open up a business. If it's going to be a store, you need to rent a store and put 3 months deposit. And you need to renovate the store because the store is empty, and you need to prepare the store to do whatever you want to do with it. And if you're selling some things, and then you need to buy inventory. And after you do that, you're not going to be waiting for customers to walk into your store and start making money, spending money. You need to advertising. The concept is the same in our industry, but there's a lot of agents that they don't do it. All right, they think it different. I met one agent that he spends 70% of his commission in advertising, and he only keeps 30%. But if you compare the amount of money that he keeps, even though it's 30%, it's a lot more than a lot of other agents that are keeping 80% or 100% of their commission because they don't spend in advertising. So one of the things is that we need to promote ourselves. We need to do advertising. So if you ask those questions, how I can launch my career, then you should ask also your question. How many actions am I performing? How many calls am I making daily? How many new contacts am I making? And I tell everybody that I get in contact with me and ask me the question, I tell them you need to contact at least 10 new people every day if you want to have a good number of transactions, right? So making new contacts is very important. Now, real estate is a task-driven business. Because of that, it's easy to focus on transactional tasks and forget about the importance of prospecting. You know, I had a conversation with one of our agents. She used to be my student, and she was concentrated 100% in learning the business, learning agreements, learning contracts, learning disclosures, but not prospecting. So then I repeat something that I already have told her, which is if you concentrate yourself only in learning, 6 months down the road, you're going to know a lot, but because you didn't do any transaction, you're going to be frustrated and probably give up on the business. And that's what happened. That's the reason why only 5% of licensed people made money. 95, they gave up the industry because after 6 months not making any money, you need to find something different to do. Actually, what you need to do is find a different strategy to make what we have in our hands works, right? So what happened after I had this conversation with her, 3 weeks later, she called me and she got a listing because she started prospect and then she got a listing. And that's one thing we need to do. We need to concentrate in learning, which is very important, but we also need to prospect. okay? And there's one thing good about our company is that I do support. So maybe you don't know how to fill up a contract, but when you get a buyer and you need to fill up a contract, you can give me a call and I'll help you to fill up a contract or an addendum or disclosures, okay? Which we're going to be talking about our next meeting. We're going to talk about disclosures and we're going to talk about closing statement, okay? So investing the time to develop your prospecting skills is a critical component of building your business. Momentum Complete Agent Development classes offer a stronger foundation for system strategy and dialogues that will hone your skills and help create a confident mindset. Schedule prospect into each work day. You know, your job is real estate. You don't have a second job. That's your job. It's real estate. Then you need to be occupied with real estate at least 8 hours of your day. If you don't have any transaction going on, then the rest of the time that you're going to be occupied will be with prospecting, trying to get other people. Remember that the object of your prospecting effort is to identify, connect, and convert leads into sales. The cliche of real estate is that it is basic. If you adopt an attitude of bringing value to clients and focus on the basic tasks that is taken to help clients, then you will be focused on sharing your success in prospecting will become a natural part of your day. It's just starting, you know? If you don't start it, you don't make a habit. And I tell all my students is that our job is to help other people. You know, try to understand what they wanted and try the best way to help them to achieve what they wanted. And the consequences of this job will be making money. Now, let's talk about how to find leads. We have 3 ways to get them. It's either waiting for your phone to ring, and then you know how hard that is. So how many times your phone rang today with a new buyer or a seller that was trying to hire you, right? Another way is to buy them. And you have 3 options. You got more options. Those are the 3 that I know about it. It's Zillow, Realtors, and Boomtown. Zillow, they say that only 4% of their leads turn into a sell. So if they say 3%, meaning only 2%. I've been working with Boomtown and they got a good numbers of leads. And if you dedicate your time with this system, you will probably get some of the leads. I will start it. I'm going to send you guys, all of you, all the agents, I will send you an email today saying that we're starting a leads program. We're going to be sending leads to agents on first come, first serve. I will create one other chat only for the agents that will participate on this program. And then we start sending leads. And we need to understand that once you get a lead, you need to respond fast because a lead is good for 5 minutes. We have one administrator taking care of this, and he's going to make the initial call. So the buyer will be addressed, and then he will go to the chat, and he's going to ask the question, who is available for the lead? And whoever comes first, then he will send the lead on a private, okay? And then you guys get in contact with them, and we will have all the information about what this buyer is looking for, the price range, and what are the properties that they already searched for. Because in our website on Boomtown, they have the option to search for properties. And then we already know what he's searching for, so make it easy for you guys to give them a call and continue the conversation and turn them into a real buyer. Okay, so we're going to do that. And another way is to go get them. Either making phone calls to new people or knocking on doors. And it's being a proof system. I have a good friend, some of you may know him. His name is Easy. He used to work in our office. And my office was right next to his office. And I saw this guy coming to the office 8 o'clock in the morning, and he makes phone calls to expired listings from 8 to 2 every day, non-stopping. He just stopped for lunch. And then he reserves the afternoon for appointments. If he doesn't have any appointment in the afternoon for that day, he continues making phone calls all day long. Well, does that work? I tell you what he's doing now. He retired. With the money that he made, he bought 2 buildings in Chicago, apartment buildings, and he's living off the rent. One of the buildings has 17 units, and he is living right now in Clearwater, not doing anything related to real estate. He does what he likes to do the most, which is playing on a band. You know, he's a guitar player, singer, and he built a band in Clearwater, and that's what he does. And he also builds guitar for fun and sell them. Now, maybe you don't want to build a band when you're retired, but you want to do whatever you like to do. So this is a proven system, and he was calling for expired listing every day. And if you make 0 phone calls, how many lists you get? 0. And if you make like 20, 30 phone calls, actually his average of phone calls was about 40 to 50 phone calls per day. You get a chance to get 1. But if you don't make phone calls, then the results will be 0. And then we need to understand and remember the definition of insanity, which is do the same thing over and over again and expect the same results. So I've been in business for 3 years, and I'm not prospecting much, and I'm not doing so much. So now I'm expecting that someday things will change, and I'll start doing some transactions, some deals. But if I don't change what I was doing for the past 3 years, I cannot expect different results. I need to change my attitude. I need to change my strategy in order to start getting what I'm looking for. The secret of prospect is consistency. That's what he was doing every day. And it's a numbers game, because the more people that you contact, the more chances you have to turn them into a sale. And do the follow-ups. You need to call them. Sometimes you're going to talk to someone, they say, well, I'm not ready now. Like the leads that are going to send it to you, when you call them, the buyer might tell you, well, I'm just starting looking for, but I'll be ready 6 months from now. So you have to create some type of CRM system to remind you in 6 months from now or 5 months from now, give them a call again. But, you know, it would be a good idea to every month call them and say, look, I'm calling you just to see if anything is changing, if you're still on the lead road to purchase your property, and if it's still 6 months from now. So don't forget about the lead. You're just gonna put them in a different priority, you know? We categorize those priorities by hot, warm, and cold. You know, warm is people that are trying to buy something in the next 3 months. And then warm is anything that's buying after that. So you're going to concentrate on people that wants to buy now, because if they do want to buy now and you don't go after them, they will find another agent that will provide the service they're looking for. We good? Now, consistent allows for measurement. Until you have tried something new for a period of time and in a consistent manner, you can't decide if it works or not. How do you measure effectiveness if what you are measuring isn't performed consistently? Sometimes you get a good idea and then you do it for a month, and then it didn't work, then you change. So you have to try that thing consistently until you get something that you can measure. It typically gives new initiatives, process, and organizational structures at least 6 months before judging them a success of a failure. It's often minor tweaking instead of major overhauls that make the difference. So try for 6 months. If it doesn't work, then it's time to change your strategy. Okay, where are you going to start it? Sphere of influence is a good place to start. I had one agent. Actually, he had his license. He never put them in any company, and he came to me, and that was the first broker that he put his license. And he told me, my uncle sold his property 2 months ago, and he didn't sell it with me. And I said, why? It's family. It's because I never told him I was licensed. And then I told him, man, you are an agent, but not a secret agent. So you got to tell everybody, starting with your family and family. Okay? It's the best source of listings and buyers, family, friends, and that includes everyone that you know. Always ask for a referral. I always tell people when you end a conversation that is related to real estate, you ask them, do you know anyone that would be willing to buy or sell this property, that you could give me their number? So that's a way to continue having people to call, okay? And another question that I always ask in the end of a conversation, especially if I help them to buy a property or to sell a property. And the question is there anything else that I can do for you on the real estate business? And I give that example all the time because I had a seller. I sold his property in Sunny Isles. That was a while ago. And after we closed the deal, I called him to thank him for the business. And I said, thank you, Mr. Whatever, for the business. You know, I'm happy that it worked out for you. If I said goodbye, that would be a goodbye. But I asked the question, is there anything else that I can do for you on the real estate business? And he told me, Arlinda, as a matter of fact, I wanted to buy an apartment in a building that has marine, so I can park my boat there. So I sold him one apartment in Marina Palms and the slip to put the boat, because I met this guy in Williams Island in his boat, because he actually lives in Ohio. I think it was Chicago. Yeah, she lives in Chicago. And in the winter, he comes to Florida and stays in his boat on Williams Island. And he wants to buy a building with a marine, so he doesn't have to be on the Williams Islands or live inside the boat all 4 or 5 months that he's going to spend in Florida. He wants to be in his condominium and still have the boat to have fun, right? So that's a good question to ask. Now, let's talk about your online presence, which is very important. And I checked some of our agents online and I didn't find them. So Dan Sullivan said, we will make 5 years progress in 3 months when it comes to all things digital. So when you have your presence online, the results that you're gonna have can be measured in 3 months compared to not doing anything online in 5 years. How strong is your online presence? If you search yourself online, what do you will find? How do you manage Instagram, Facebook, Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, Homes.com, Realtors, and Zillow? You can have your presences in all those applications here, right? So now you got to start asking yourself, do I have Instagram for real estate? Not for me only, for my fun. Do I use my Instagram for real estate? Do I have a Facebook business page? Or I only have for myself where I talk to people, I post pictures and whatever. Google, am I on Google? YouTube, right? So all of those things, you need to ask yourself if you have it. If you don't, then it's time to start it. So how confident you are. When you walk into a listing presentation or talking to a new buyer, what would you say? Check me online? Or you would say, I hope they don't check me online, because they're not gonna find anything, right? So where do you go first to check you out? Where people goes first to check you, because you're doing business with someone that you don't know. And the only way for you to know if it's good or not is to check them online, right? So if you're trying to buy a car, example, and you want to read the reviews about the car, if you want to do business with any company, you check them online and see the reviews, what people are talking about the company. And that does not change when you're dealing with the real estate agents. People want to check them and see the review, what people says about this particular agent. Now, 70% of people goes to Google to check on agents, right? Your reputation is online, is in the line and online. So you got reviews. Get people that you know to give you 5 stars. And that can be friends and family. Call them, even if they don't do, you didn't do business with them, call them and say, go to Google, search for me, and give me a review and give me a 5 stars. So when people go and check you, they're gonna find that you had such numbers of reviews, and all of them gave you 5 stars. That's a good start. Diversify your reviews online. Get the reviews on Zillow, on Facebook, on Realtors, and on Google. Social media is the best lead source. That is a research that they did it. And they say that 47% of the leads comes from social media. 32% comes from MLS site. But remember, this 32% comes from the MLS site. It might be other agents calling you with the buyer, which means you don't get the buyer. And you must have what? A listing in order to participate on this 32%. Broker's website, 29, listing aggregator site, CRM, email marketing tool, digital ad campaign, blog or business website. So those are the numbers of leads that you can get based on those applications. So how to create your complete digital presence. So there you go. I'm going to tell you the places that you need to create your presence, and then we're going to take a look at it, okay? Now, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Realtors.com, Zillow, Homes, and YouTube. I want to show you something. Let's see if we can get this thing here. Okay, you're on Google. I did that in class yesterday, and I got one of my students. And this is not him. I also checked him on Realtors.com. You know that people search for properties on Realtors.com as well as on Zillow. And on Zillow and on Realtors.com, you have a place to find realtors. So you click here, find the realtors, and then you put the agent. He's not here, right? Now, if you have your presence, it's something, it's free, guys. It's free. You go to Realtors.com and then you sign up. You see here, sign up on the top of my screen, and then you sign up, it's free, and then you put your picture, you put your name, company, phone number, and they were gonna, if people search for you, they will find you on realtors.com. Same thing on Zillow.com, Agent Finder. You got the phone number, you have the stars, you know, and you have some reviews that you can see it. Now going back to Google, if you search for, you got me here, Arlindo Machado, real estate broker and instructor, and you have all the information here. Okay, so now thinking about it, and you ask yourself, do you have, let me bring you back to PowerPoint. Do you have this? Do you have your name on Google? Because if you search for someone, let me go back here. I like to see this one more time. Let me put in. Now, this is what happened when you don't have your name. Okay, this is what happened when you Google for someone that they don't have their presence on Google. Here on the right side, doesn't show anything. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me get my notes and get my little arrow here. So then I can show you that in this area here, if you have your Google, my page, my business, you would show here. Let me go back to my name. Now you see exactly where there was nothing, because that person doesn't have a Google My Business. You have my information here. Okay, so it is a good idea for you guys. If you don't have, you still don't have, but you already have a Gmail account, meaning you have a Google account. And if you do have a Google account, then you can create your Google My Business. So what do? Go to Google after you sign up and click on search, and you search for Google My Business. And right there, you're gonna find a way to create your presence on Google. Remember, 70% of people will Google you, all right? So here, Google My Business, they're gonna go and find you. Also Facebook, you should have your business page on Facebook, and it's also free. You just go on your personal Facebook page, and then inside your personal Facebook page, you created a business page. Once you have a business page, then you can post something related to your business, and you can boost, meaning you can create a campaign. And then you say, look, I want to spend $5 a day with this campaign. And then you created your audience. Who do you want your advertising to be shown? Okay, but only if you have your Facebook business page. Instagram, very important. I had a student that called me yesterday and said she wants my help because one person found her on Instagram. Not on Instagram, sorry, on LinkedIn. Okay, so this is LinkedIn. Sometimes you don't have any return from your LinkedIn business page, but sometimes it will. It's better to have it and not being seen than to don't have anything. It also doesn't cost you anything to create your LinkedIn. And she got an investor, and she told me that the guy has $500,000 to $800,000 to invest here in Miami, and came from LinkedIn. YouTube, also very important to have your YouTube. Now, it's a good idea for you to have videos, have videos on YouTube, make videos. And the best way to make videos is to put important information, how to purchase a property, and what is the qualification process, and what is the process of purchasing a house. Now, create small videos and then post it on YouTube. And then you create your page on YouTube. All right? Now, farming ideas. What is farming? Farming, you guys may be aware of this. Farming is when you specialize yourself in a geographic area or property type, or farming only for sellers or type of buyers, So you have to define your focus of your real estate career. Where are you going to farm? Determine how you can market your line of business farming, and define the sources where you can farm. Where can you farm? Social media, internet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, blogging, Craigslist, YouTube. So all of those places are a good place for you to start farming. Define the source you have to farm. So regular communication, start phone calls, postcards, letters, door knocking, professional business in real estate realm, mortgage brokers, title company. Have connection with these people, because if you need any help, they are there to help you, because you are the source of leads for them. So we have, as a title company and real estate attorney, we have John, that you guys know that he's always available to answer our calls. And for mortgages, I'm going to post in our chat this guy's phone number, Rafael Aguilera. Okay, so then you guys can give them a call and ask any information. Look, I got a scenario like this. Can you approve? What is the best case scenario for interest rate today? And that's a good source also. Now, define the resource you have to farm. Specify your target groups. You can group of family and families. That's when we started with a sphere of influence. Divorced people, or people that are going to get married. And you know that on Facebook, they tell anything about their lives. If they're going to get married, they put it on Facebook. And if they're going to get married, they're probably going to purchase a house. Divorcing, they end up putting those information on Facebook as well. And if they're divorced, they might be selling a house. Sports, hospital workers, church communities, neighbors. I knew a guy that he loves to paddleboard. That was his hobby. And he made a shirt with his name, phone number, and real estate specialized in waterfront properties. And on the weekend, which is the time that people are enjoying the outside, and he goes paddleboard on those canals. And when he sees a group of people, and then he comes and start having a conversation with them. And then after he created a relationship, because it can be business, strictly business. Hey, hi, guys, I am a real estate agent. Do you want to sell your property? Anyone that wants to buy a property in waterfront properties. So that's not how you start. You just, started the conversation. Hey, how you doing? Enjoy the day. It's a beautiful day. And then you make it like the friendship. And he had a great idea. And he was farming only on waterfront properties. And he got a lot of listings and a lot of buyers using this strategy. A specific target group, people from your community, people from other countries, open houses, waterfront properties, a farm from house to condo, which is a good source also, because we know, especially here in Florida, that people that bought a house, big house with a pool and everything, they had kids. And after 10 years, the kids grow up and they went to college. And there is a statistics that after 10 years, they sell the property to downsize. They go from a house to a condo. You have an application on our portal that's called IMAP, and you can do a search for all the properties that was bought 10 years or before. And then you can contact these people to find out if they're considered downsizing because there's a bunch of advantage. Number one, you can get a good cash because you sell the house and you buy an apartment for less money. So then you got a cash on your pocket. Also, you reduce your expenses and work because if you have a house, you have to take care of the landscaping, you have to clean the pool, and if you live in a condominium, you don't have this job or the expenses. And there's a bunch of people that are doing this all the time. You know, they're downsizing, and it's a good source. Again, the application is called IMAP, and you do a search for houses sold 10 years or before, and then you can start getting in contact with these people. Now, define your specific niche, develop your game plan, get to work, and work hard. It's one good thing is for you to establish a mission statement, okay? And I got some ideas here, and it's always good to have a small mission statement. And your mission statement, you're gonna put it on your Google account, Google My Business. You're gonna put your mission statement on your Facebook, on website. If you have a website, you're gonna put your mission statement on your website, right? So it's a good idea. And the back of your business card, it's also a good place for you to put your mission statement. So got some ideas here. We strive to help local and international clients by selling leads and invest on local properties. We don't just serve our clients. We foster relationship that lasts for a lifetime. It's a good mission statement. This is the mission statement for our company. And if you want to, you're welcome to use it. Serving our community with high integrity and dedication. And that's something that will fit in your business card. So if you want to, you are welcome to use that mission statement. Now, some ideas on advertising for people that wants to go out there and start finding sellers. And there is one question that all the sellers wants to ask, which is, how much is my house worth? And you can create this flyer that it's a door hanger that you put it on the door. You don't want it to knock on doors and talk to people. You just go to their house and put this thing on the door and on the handle, right? And people will come and say, well, I think I want to know how much my house is worth it. Give me a call for a free house evaluation. Now you get people calling you. Now, again, if you do nothing, nothing is going to happen. And you need to find things that you are comfortable with. I am not comfortable making phone calls. I give the idea because someone will try and they don't care. This guy here, he didn't care what people tell him. This easy guy that I was talking to you about it. And, you know, he never took anything personal. That's why he was making numbers of phone calls every day. And whatever they say to him didn't discourage him to make the next call. I don't like it. But there's a bunch of different things that we can do that we identify ourselves that can be done, right? So I have, and I'm going to ask you guys to send me a text. You can send me a text on the chat group for a printing company. They charge not much, not much. For you to have an idea, today, flyer doesn't work, okay? You're going to spend money and you're not going to get much of results of flyers. But just to give you an idea on price, he makes 5,000 postcards, 4x6, full color, both sides for $100. It's very inexpensive, right? And this thing he can also print. There will be a cut on this circle, right circle here, so you can put it on the door hanger. And another thing is, if you have a listing, to have a sign. And these people also does sign. The normal sign, both sides full colors, he charged $28. And the size is 24 by 48 inches. So it's a normal size that you see on the front yard, for any property that's being sold. And you can get those signs for $28. I will post the numbers, okay? Now, continue on promoting yourself. we need to learn how to create flyers and publications. Now, I put here the link. Those are 2 trainings that I did with you guys. Some of you guys have watched those videos. And here's the link. I'm going to post it in our group. How to create flyers and publications. Canva. Canva.com. It's a website that you can create your account, free account. You don't have to pay for it. And you can create any type of publications or videos or posts to put it on Instagram or Facebook, and you don't have to pay anything. So what is the difference between a paid account and a free account? Is because they have a bunch of different templates, and there's a good number of templates that are free, and there's a good number of templates that it's paid, and only for the paid account you have access to those. Also pictures. There's a bunch of free pictures that you can use it, and a bunch of free pictures that you can only use if you have a paid account. But you can upload your own pictures and use your own pictures. And now comes an advice. Please don't find pictures on Google and use them on your publications. Those pictures that you're finding on Google are not free, okay? We had a situation in one of our agents that the picture that she used was trademark, copyright, actually. It was copyrighted. And the owner sued the agent and the company. So go to iStockPhoto.com, and then you pay, maybe $2, $3 per pictures, depends on the picture. Don't get pictures from Google. If you have the picture that you took the picture yourself, then you can use them. And if you go to iPhotostock, and there's a bunch of different websites that provides photos that you can pay for, and that you can purchase those pictures, download it in your computer, and then you upload to Canva and do it. And also digital magazine. I also have a video that teaches you guys how to create a digital magazine. For those that still didn't see it, let me show you how it looks like, okay? A quick view of the magazine. So that's how an electronic magazine looks like. And I didn't have to know anything on how to make it. I just have to do the publication on Canva and then upload it to this website that's called Flipsnack. And you get this beautiful magazine, very professional, that you can send the link to all your clients, buyers, whatever you decided to put it on your magazine. Now remember, the best way to sell yourself is by putting a good information on the magazine. Don't put a magazine about you, because it's not going to sell. If you put a good information, like this magazine is about how instructing Brazilians on how to purchase property in Miami. Okay. Then, of course, on the first page, I have my information, but I have all the good information on the rest of the magazine that will attract their interest. And if I am the one, if they have their questions answered by my magazine, who do you think they're going to call? Of course, they're going to call me. All right. So I like to go over the keeping your advertising legal. I've seen some agents that they don't remember anymore about the rules of advertising, and they are advertising. I'm going to take a little bit of the time, go a little longer, because this is a very important topic that I don't want it to leave for another occasion, okay? Because you are going to advertise if you are not already advertising, and you need to remember those rules. And I had a agent in business for 15 years, and then he came to me and he was breaking the rules of the advertising, and that could turn to be something bad. So that's why we need to remember. Now, one thing is remember the Fair Housing Act. Okay, we got a situation. I received a phone call from the public, from one member of the public, And he told me, and that was not so long ago, he told me one of your agents is violating the fair housing law. I said, oh, all right, what is he doing? And what is the name of the agent? So he gave me the name of the agent. And he said that she is advertising that the property is closer to a Baptist church. So this is one thing that we cannot advertise. I don't think that that information is relevant. But if you believe it's relevant, the only thing you can do is say that the house is near to a worship house. Our property is near to a worship house. If you believe that this is a relevant information, but never put this near to a synagogue, near to a Baptist church, Catholic church, those things can be done. We had another situation with an agent in a different company, thank God, and they filed a suit on a federal court because she went beyond the scope of her license. And it was a firm that was doing this scheme. It's actually a scheme, but legal scheme. They were hiring testers to call listing agents for rentals. And they start asking a bunch of questions. And you have to remember that there are questions that is related to your license and some are not. So those questions that are not related to your license, don't answer them. And his question was, I have a criminal record. If I apply for this association, are they going to approve me or going to deny me? Now, question is, do we have a power to decide who is going to be approved or denied on a condominium application? We don't. So that's the condominium application, condominium's job. They're going to receive the application, they're going to do the background, and they're going to make the decision. And they're going to make the decision based on their own. They're not going to ask me for my advice. I have no power on denying or approve an application. And she said that her answer should be this. I don't know. I have no power on approve or deny an application. The only thing you can do is apply and let the association decide. But she decided to say, oh, if you have a criminal record, they're not going to approve you. Bingo. She got sued in federal court for answering a question that she was not entitled to answer. So those are the classes that are protected. Race, color, religion, sex, national origin, handicap, and familial status. Don't put any advertising that says, this is a beautiful home on a Hispanic community. Can't do that. That is steering. Okay, so you can use that terminology, that language in your advertising. Okay, so best thing to do, if you don't know if you can use that language in your advertising, give me a call and I'll tell you. Okay, remember that I'm also a real estate instructor. I know all of those things, not only because I'm a broker, but because I'm also a real estate instructor. I can help you to avoid future problems, all right? And I'm always available, you guys know it. And the best way to contact me is always calling me. Sending me a text, sometimes it takes me a while to see your text, but if you call me, I will answer if I'm available. If I'm not available, I will reply, I'll call you later, and then I will call you later. So I'm always available, all right? So I wanna go over just this thing here. Advertising, including anything, right? Business cards, letterheads, and including advertising on the internet, Facebook, Instagram. You must put the name of the company. One Way Realty Group must be in any type of advertising, anywhere that you do it, must contain the name of the company. If you don't, it's called blind advertising, and blind advertising is illegal. So I had an agent that he was advertised on Marketplace on Facebook, and he didn't put the name of the company. And if you look into the Marketplace, you're going to see many of agents advertising properties for sale or renting, and they don't mention the name of the company. So you can't do that. And your name on the advertising, it's not required by law to put your name, but of course you are going to, but you must include your last name exactly how you have in your license. Okay? Your name could be Robert Smith, but everybody calls you Bob and you want to put Bob. It's okay, you can put Bob, but don't forget to put Smith, okay? So the requirements to Bob Smith. And the triggering terms, which is one of the agents were doing it. They will put it on Facebook that buy this house for only $1,200 a month. That is a triggering terms. Is it illegal? No. But if you put any amount of down payment, any type of payment, number of payments, or period of repayment, or interest rate, you must disclose, okay? You must disclose what is the APR, what is the terms, what is the credit score necessary to be qualified for this monthly payment. And he was doing this for a while. I believe he was doing this for almost 4 months, right? So he came to me and said, "Don't stop it. You can't do that." The best way is not doing it, than to have to disclose. Okay, give me a call for more information. Will be the best thing to do on those type of advertising. Okay, guys, we have more things to talk about it. Type of mortgages, interest rate, how to qualify a buyer, and we're gonna do this on our next meeting. Okay, I hope you like it. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, you can ask them now, or you can call me later or post them on our chat, okay? I'm gonna put the link for those videos in our chat right now so you can watch them later. It's a very good way to do flyers and publication using Canva. And you don't need to have any computer knowledge to do that. You just know how to use your mouse because you're just reading and click and choose what you want. We good? All right, guys, thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I see you on our next meeting, which I will be posting in our chat very soon. All right?
Thank you, Arlindo.
All right, guys, thank you.
Hey, Orlando, I just texted you. I need to be added to the chat.
Who is this?
Jessica.
All right, Jessica,
Yes.
I will include you in the chat right now. Okay, Jessica?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.